In this guide, why every OAuth parameter in the browser is a tamper target, how JAR wraps the authorization request in a signed JWT, which 4 attack classes JAR neutralizes, and where FAPI 2 is taking request signing in 2026. Identity Expert, powering you to be an expert in identity. JAR, pronounced just like the container, stands for JWT-Secured Authorization Requests. It's RFC 9101, and it solves one specific OAuth problem. Every parameter in an authorization request travels through the browser as a plain query string. Response type, client ID, redirect URI, scope, state. A malicious browser extension or a compromised device can silently rewrite any of those before they reach the authorization server. JAR stops that by wrapping the entire request in a signed JWT. Think of a standard OAuth request as a postcard. Anything written on it is visible, and anyone handling it can change a word or two before it arrives. JAR turns that postcard into a notarized letter. The client seals it with a private key signature. The authorization server holds the matching public key and verifies the seal on arrival. If even a single character was altered in transit, the signature fails, and the request is rejected before any login UI appears. Here's why this matters. Without JAR, a man-in-the-browser attack can change redirect URI from your real app to an attacker-controlled URL, and the user sees a legitimate consent screen approves, and the authorization code is sent straight to the attacker. The same class of attack can widen scope, swap state, or substitute the code challenge. The authorization server has no way to verify what the client originally intended. That's the gap JAR closes. JAR works in 3 moves. First, the client builds every authorization parameter, response type, cliented, redirect URI, scope, state, nonce, code challenge, as claims inside a JWT payload and signs it with its private key. Second, it sends that signed JWT as a single request parameter in the authorization URL. Third, the authorization server fetches the client's registered public key from its JWKS endpoint, verifies the signature, and processes the parameters straight from the signed JWT. Crucially, claims inside the JWT take precedence over any duplicated query string values. On the wire, it looks like this. The authorization request is a JET with just cliented and request, where request is the compact signed JWT carrying everything. The JWT header names the algorithm, PS256 is typical, and a key ID so the server knows which public key to verify against. The type header is OAuth plus JWT, mandatory since the 2023 JWT confusion bugs. The payload carries IS set to the client ID, OD set to the authorization server's issuer and expiry, and every original parameter. JAR neutralizes 4 main threats. Parameter tampering, the query string is now assigned blob, mutation breaks verification. Cross-client replay, IS plus OD bind the request to exactly one client talking to one server. Algorithm substitution including alg none, mitigated by pinning accepted algorithms at client registration and rejecting none. And long-lived replay, short expiry, plus a JTI and a server-side one-time use cache prevent the same signed request from being played twice. What JAR doesn't solve, confidentiality, the JWT is opaque but still front-channel visible. That's where PAR comes in. The JAR landscape in 2026 looks like this. FAPI 1 Advanced makes JAR mandatory for high-assurance flows. FAPI 2, finalized February 2025, drops standalone JAR and requires PAR with a signed pushed request object instead. OAuth 2.1 keeps JAR as optional hardening, PKCE is the universal baseline, JAR is profile-specific. And the European Digital Identity Wallet Architecture Reference Framework, version 1.4 and later, mandates signed request objects for relying party authentication, which is driving JAR adoption far beyond banking. All primary sources cited in today's guide are listed on screen. You'll find direct links to the RFCs and specifications in the video description below. If this breakdown helped you understand the topic better, please subscribe to Identity Expert. We publish a new protocol deep dive every week. Thanks for watching. If there's a specific identity standard, authentication flow, or security protocol you'd like us to cover next, drop it in the comments below. We build our content based on what the community asks for. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode.